Ryback Show starts now. Welcome to the Ryback Show. I'm your host, the big guy Ryback. Happy Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. We are streaming live on Instagram and TikTok, the big guy RYBACK22. Thank you to the people that are joining on the live streams on all the platforms. We're on Ryback TV on YouTube. Super chats are greatly appreciated, guys, and brought up on the screen on there. Health, fitness, supplementation, pro wrestling, sports, and anything and everything in between. We are streaming live on Facebook at Ryback Reeves and Twitch at Ryback Rules. This show is available on all podcast platforms. iTunes reviews are greatly appreciated, guys. So thank you to those of you that leave a star rating and write a review on there. And we can't forget old Twitter Spaces, X Spaces, my least favorite platform with everything going on. But thank you to all of my great Twitter subscribers and the people that join on here. The same small sample size group that they distribute the show out to every day. I appreciate you guys that show up routinely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you could share this show on Twitter and tag Elon Musk and that Linda X lady, whoever the CEO. I want to bombard them with content from me. So if you could please retweet this show and tag them at Elon Musk and at Linda X and say, fix Ryback's account. Let's just continuously bombard them with this, because it is beyond disturbing that we are still at this level with everything with that. Guys, this show's brought to you by Feed Me More Nutrition, my premium supplement line sweetened with stevia and monk fruit. No harmful artificial sweeteners or colors for all people, men and women. He, she, and thee. FeedMeMore.com. You guys can save 20%. Discount code FEEDME20, FeedMe20 on FeedMeMore.com. You get a free Feed Me More Nutrition premium shaker bottle with all orders. Make sure you guys sign up for my email and text message program, guys. If you guys sign up for those today, and I'm not giving you the code, you got to go sign up. Sign up for the email and the text. You get a free bottle of my GTS Go to Sleep, high-powered sleep formula, guys, today with the purchase of any supplement on FeedMeMore.com. Our brain feed is now back in stock. Oh, that's where the noises are coming from. On the old TikTok there's noises, I guess, for achievements on there. There's a goal of, I couldn't figure out. I thought Twitter, it was the Twitter making the noises, but they're right next to each other with that. It's the TikTok is I'm reaching goals that I didn't even know that I think I had a subscriber goal on there. So thank you to everybody on TikTok. You guys want to call into the show live, the People's Podcast at Ryback on X Spaces, Twitter Spaces here, guys, to call in, whatever platform you're listening on. If you want to call in and be on the show, you have something to say, you've got a question, a concern, a statement, guys, right here, X Spaces at Ryback. Follow me, create an account if you don't have one, or log into your account if you use it, and pop on into that X Spaces, Twitter Spaces, and join the show live. Sweet Sugar, good to see you, buddy. Starting off hot with a super chat here. Gabby Hiralu, thank you. Hey, I just wanted to know, how could you picture in your head the storyline of you winning the WWE title back in 2013, and how would you carry it? I'd probably carry it on my shoulder and around the waist, standard with that. Okay. I know you probably mean, like, how would I carry it? Would I be a fighting champion? Would I be a part-time champion? I mean, it's a pretty ridiculous question on that. So I'm assuming it was over the Punk. What am I winning it? Is it babyface Ryback in 2013 against CM Punk in the TLC match? Was that? And then going on and whooping The Rock's ass? Shell shock, and then go out and whoop Cena's ass at WrestleMania? We'll just whoop an ass 24/7 with that. Or is it heel Ryback defeating Cena, which I was the last man standing, technically uncrowned WWE champion, guys. And that last man standing, I was the last man standing. He got taken out in an ambulance. Storyline wise, Ryback has never lost a championship on that. Should have been awarded to me that night. Referee, horrible job on that. But hey, it is what it is. Yeah, I would have just been regular Ryback, just with the championship, just like I was with the IC championship. Would have probably and then you just have programs with whoever you have programs with up there, and you just read your lines and you have fun as much as you can with that. So that's how I envisioned it would have went with it. But thank you very much for the super chat. It's not fun actually having championships though. Just so you guys know, traveling wise, I do not care to carry a championship around anywhere that I go. I don't want it in my luggage. It's heavy. I don't like having to take it out for TSA. I just prefer to show up and the championship is there. You pull it out in WWE, but you have to they should have had them for you so you don't have to carry the championships. Like, send me the one for my house. Let me take some pictures and, have some fun with the girlfriend at the time with it. Woo! But hey, I don't want to be carrying that thing around everywhere. God, it's just have them at the building. Let me just put it on and go out and do the thing, I don't want to have to be carrying the championships around everywhere, though. No, it's not 100 pounds, Chris Willis. Chris Willis has asked, is the championship 100 pounds? No, Chris. That's ridiculous. No championship anywhere is 100 pounds. Who told you that? What dirt sheet did you read that off of? Championships are 100 pounds. That's more than half the roster right now. Relax, pal. I'll have to go weigh the IC title for you, and they're all pretty similar to that. I would imagine it's somewhere in that 6 to 10 pound range, 5 to 7, 5 to 8 pounds. I don't know. I didn't do bicep curls with it or anything. I should have tried. Maybe could have had a better idea, but all right. Let's take some calls here, guys. No, Chris, Chris, it's not 75 pounds either. After all of that, Chris, you go that after I tell you that little spiel, it's not 100. Your next guess is 75. Come on. Not a human being with half a brain would make that their second guess on that. We're starting off hot today, guys. Starting off hot. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. We're going to just go with Chris Willis. Championships are somewhere between 75 and 100 pounds, guys. Jeez. That makes really fun to travel with those when there's weight requirements on everything. I'm doing great. Weather's great in Vegas. It's been a great day thus far. I'm drinking a little bit of my Pumplex City. I've got to do a big workout after this. Feeling amazing. Feeling amazing. All right, let me take a look here. 11 is forever. This could be anybody.
Yes, sir, Mr. Ryback. How you doing today? It's Mike with the Dirty Dishes.
How you doing, Mike? Good to hear from you again.
It's all clean, brother.
I love to hear it. I love to hear it, man. You're off on the right track today.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm on my lunch break as usual. Glad I caught you now. Quick question for you today. First off, I don't know how with this Twitter stuff, it's insane how nobody is hearing you out. It's wild.
Do you guys am I crazy for thinking? Do you guys not think it's crazy that they haven't at least acknowledged me publicly?
I just don't understand.
It doesn't make any sense. Why? And here's the other thing. Just say I was wrong. Say that I'm making all this up, even though I have the proof of them saying I'm restricted. I have the proof of WWE wanting the accounts and Twitter closing hundreds of cases and saying that I'm restricted, then them fixing the restriction, but not fixing all this shadow banning and Elon admitting to all this restrictive coding. He's admitted this. And why wouldn't they at least acknowledge me and say hey, we're gonna DM you privately, or we're gonna try to get somebody to help, or hey, your account isn't this. They would do something to get you would think after now we're going on 8 months of them being in charge and them seeing my tweets, or you'd think they would just do something, but absolutely nothing. So, but it hurts every day. This show should be going out to 6 figures on my Twitter alone on that platform, and it's going out to 15 to 2,000 people. The same people every day. It doesn't make any sense. So
yeah, it's disappointing, and it's definitely not fair that there is I don't want to even say personal vendetta or anything along those lines.
Yeah.
But it's really disappointing. And I'm praying that one day it gets all resolved and that you're able to do your thing in peace and generate what you need to. And my question to you today is, I am not typically a big fan of thrown together tag teams. But for whatever reason, I loved RybAxel.
Oh, thank you.
I still watch you guys, the final promo. I think it was either on Superstars or Main Event, but the way you guys parted ways I don't know, it was very funny. I enjoyed the conversation you guys had there. So talk to me more about your relationship with Mr. Joe Henning, Curtis Axel. I definitely would love to know what the premise of that tag team, how it came to be, your relationship, and if there was any real plans for you guys.
So that came together. So one loved Joe. I actually just talked to him and his wife Brooke, like, and Matt, their kids. Like, they always would bring their kids to the shows when they always would hang out with them and joke around and have a good time. Like, and I knew Joe from Florida Championship Wrestling. During down there, we were never like, I wouldn't say I got along with everybody. We would joke around and like, I always got along with him really well, but I never like really worked with him or anything down there. We never really worked together, even though there might have been like little things here and there, but I just knew he was a really, really good guy. And like, we would like, and I had a few people that I would hang around and then like we'd all hang around together and like always got along really well. That came together up there. That he after the Michael McGillicuddy stuff, and then he kind of wasn't doing anything forever. They didn't know what to do with him as far as how to repackage him or bring him back up. And then I was back up. I came back off of my ankle injury with Ryback, and everything was going great. And then things got weird. And then they turned me from babyface to heel, and I was doing the bullying stuff. Axel had came back during that bullying stuff or around in that period, maybe a little prior, as a Paul Heyman guy. And they gave him a nice little push out of the gates with everything in the IC title. And he was doing really, really good. And they put him right into a program with Punk. If I'm not mistaken, at least on live events. I can't remember how much. I think they had some stuff on TV as well, but they were doing really good live events. And whatever happened, I think he'd lost the title, and whatever the thing is with Heyman, I don't know what was going on. I've never heard Paul talk about it. I never really talked too much to Joe about it. Heyman, for whatever, I think things were I didn't know, they didn't have any plans past him losing the title or what the hell it was. But Paul like had suggested they take me out of my bullying gimmick, which was getting over, and infuse me into that program with Punk, and where it was Heyman, Axel, and me. And then for me to continue on with the feud with Punk once again, but this time me as heel and him as babyface, which I wasn't particularly fond of, because even though I was a professional, go, of course, whatever you guys want, and talk to Vince, but I was getting real heat finally doing the bullying stuff, and I wanted to see that play out, that because everything is storylines. So we just once again halted everything with a storyline for me to put me into a program that I didn't really belong in, just so Heyman could stay on TV longer. And so I found out, and I've talked about this really quickly, Heyman and Punk were as good of friends as you could be up there. That program was it was Heyman working with Punk and with little regard for me or Axel on this. So we were fighting an uphill losing battle of Heyman was just using us to get a couple more paydays and to get Punk another big win, a couple big wins. And then he was going to wash his hands of us, because this is how he operates at that time. He didn't have anyone he was permanently with, again, like how he is with Roman now. Like, so he was like kind of just, he's a survivor in the sense of he will do anything to just stay involved at times. And that was what was going on. So it happened. We were in England, and the stuff we didn't even know. This is how when I tell you guys this stuff, this is coming from like the reality of the situation. Nobody tells us anything that Paul's going to go in the ring on TV and bury us. No creative. We were just told we weren't on TV for that Raw or whatever it was. And outside of a segment we were going to have after a backstage reaction. And if I'm not mistaken, and Heyman, we're watching live, and Heyman's just burying us, and we're like fucking pissed. Part of my language, TikTok, but we were told by a creative, we go, yeah, you guys are going to now be a tag team. And me and Joe liked each other. We laughing all the time with the stuff outside when we're not shooting, and we were getting along doing all the Heyman stuff really well, and which I suspect that could have probably played a part in where they just figured like, oh, we're going to take these guys away from Heyman, or we're going to get Heyman away from them, and we'll just leave them together. So that was kind of how it came about. And that night, and I've told this story, I went as soon as Paul got to the back. I said, I need to talk to you tonight. And I made sure Axel was there as well. And Paul drank a lot of beer. I drank a lot of beers. Axel had a few. I mean, Paul paid for all of them. And I told him what I thought about him professionally and personally on everything, because I didn't appreciate him, how he handled the business and used us and kind of left us to dry and not being professional and going out there and burying us when our angle was done with him and not even giving us a heads up or anything like that. It was just really, it wasn't good business all the way around. And I told Vince, and I just said all along, I go, that wasn't handled very well on all of that. And as far as nobody letting us know the plans of what was going on. So me and Axel, then we were together and without a program, without anything. And this is the beginning of essentially my punishment period in WWE, where whatever lie that Punk went in, because Punk went to Vince, and I've talked about this as well. Him and Heyman went to Vince that, I believe, that day in England, because I remember this was in England, and they went and buried me just to no end on just for whatever. I knew something happened because I was walking down the hallway and Heyman and Punk are walking by together. And mind you, at this time, me and Heyman, we were still together with Axel. The TV hadn't happened later that night. They look at me with an evil smile. They go, "Good luck." And I knew right then and there, because I saw Vince's office was down, and I knew they had just came from there. And I go, "I've got to go talk to Vince." So I go talk to Vince that day. This is the day that Vince, he was eating and he had me come in. This is the only time I've ever talked to him where he was actually, he was mad at me. But he didn't know what he was mad at me for. He just was mad because of what they had told him or whatever they told him. In which Cena, and this is another, there's a lot of parts of this. Cena even came up to me and just goes, "They don't do business the way I do business." He goes, "They're a different animal," in which they will manipulate and lie. So I don't know what lies or manipulation they use, but with Punk always with Vince and being in that position had a lot of pull. But this can just show you how much pull I had. I had a good amount of pull still at the time, and with everything and being new still, I went into Vince, and Vince was eating, and he was really pissed off, and he goes, "I don't know what to do with you." And I go, "What the F are you talking about?" And just very calm, and we're talking. He goes, "I don't know if you have to send you down to NXT or what." And I go, "Well, send me down to NXT. I'll go. I don't care." I go, "Send me down there right now." I go, "I'll pack my bags. I'll leave the building right now." Like, this is just, and then Vince pauses and he puts his head down and he's thinking, and he looks at me, he goes, "I don't want to do that." And I go, "Well, why would you do that?" I go, "I don't even know what's going on." So he's not even communicating to me what was told to him by Heyman or Punk, which I can imagine, knowing how Punk was at that time, it was not good with any of this. So, but this was kind of the beginning of all that led to whatever happened on TV and them not telling us and Paul. So like all this happens, me and Vince, everything was good. But that was the beginning of my punishment period, even though Vince would never admit it. But they put us together. So essentially I felt like I was being punished and not being used in the way that I'd been featured previously the year prior. But Axel was taking the majority of the pinfalls. So I was staying actually protected, but even every once in a blue moon, and like me and Axel knew the deal, they would come and tell me, like Arn or one of the producers would go, "Tonight, Vince wants you taking the pinfall Ryback." So like it would have, if you ever go back and watch RybAxel stuff, I took very few pinfalls during this. So it was like it was being done, but it was a demotion clearly from how I was being used. So I always felt bad, and I joked with Axel, but I was like, I hated that he got dragged into this, but they weren't really doing anything with him. But the positive of it was the two of us had each other in this, and we looked at it and go, "You know what? Let's just go have as much fun as possible and go out there." And like my whole WWE career, that time up there, it was probably the most fun I ever had, especially as we really got going and we got to work with top teams the whole time. We had a main event program with the Shield overseas. When Randy got hurt doing 6-man tags over there, and then we were on almost every pay-per-view, whether it was the pre-show or on the show. We were figured in on everything, but we just weren't being featured. Like, there would be times on Raw where we'd be in the ring and we didn't get an entrance. Didn't happen a ton, but it happened enough. But the reason why this was going on, it was them, from whatever Punk and Heyman had told Vince, that was their way of they thought, like, just like of I don't know how you want to describe it, with that, of just of not using me to the degree that we had used me prior. with everything, but still using me and keeping my value at a certain level without diminishing it by letting Axel, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like I was taking, so it was, this was going on. And then me going to Vince periodically going, look, and this is enough. Like, what is going on? Like, I was just trying to go get answers. Like, explain to me why you're doing what you're doing, and not like, and he goes, there's no punishment. I don't believe in that. Like, so it was just lies. So it's like, and then Axel would try to go in there and get answers. And, you know, so it was a frustrating period from a creative standpoint but we were like on .com every week. So we were doing vignettes and having fun and cracking up all the writers every week, having the time of our lives, doing really good stuff. I think some of my best work up there, and Axel's, I'll say it was probably some of our best work together during this period that went unseen. And then the only thing you guys really saw was that breakup, which was just like a lot of the other content that we were doing for the whole time we were together. It just wasn't being seen on TV. It was on .com with it. So it was a crazy period, man. And we tried, and like we came out, I had the RybAxel beanies. Like, we didn't even get, we didn't have merch. We like wore our separate merch shirts. They wouldn't make merch for us. I had beanies made for us. I got a ton of them made. We'd wear the RybAxel beanies. Like, this was like, there was nothing going on though with it. Like, as far as, you know, any plans. And I'll never forget though, the name Road Dog came to me. And when we were together that first week, and then the next week at TV, he came up because they were talking about it in the meeting. And he goes, I kind of just jokingly said RybAxel in the meeting. And he goes, it got a good reaction. I go, that's the name. I love it. Like, that's, so Road Dog had actually played a big part. I believe he was the one. He was the one that at least told me about it. But I believe it was him that he said that he mentioned it in the meeting, and the name got a good reaction. So that's kind of how it all came together. And unfortunately, you know, we feuded for the titles multiple times, and we would get wins on TV here and there, and then we'd go work, we'd wrestle for the titles and lose, or so. But I mean, we feuded with Cody and Goldust, Stardust and Goldust, the Usos, New Day. So like, we were in there with prominent teams, but even though at that period the tag division wasn't really being featured like it is much now. So it wasn't as, you know, how sometimes the titles outside of the world title or the universal, right, they'll kind of like, the US title will go from periods of being hot to kind of being cold. And I feel like it was kind of a cold period for the tag titles with that as well. But
you know what it is? I felt like you guys were doing so well getting that over. I enjoyed you two together. I wanted really to see what was going to be next with it. I mean, you know, I'm sure you'd pop a lot of fans if you had some little cameo with Joe. Have you guys seen each other since? Has there ever been talk about, you know, reuniting, you know, like that last promo that you guys had together? Has there ever been a conversation like that?
Oh yeah, every time we talk, we joke about it, just like doing something at some point where I know he still wants to wrestle. And I know he had a gig with WWE for a while as a producer, and then that didn't, for whatever reason, they didn't have him in that. And I think it's a good thing, because I know he still wants to work, and he's still in great shape, and he's healthy. So and why he's not, he should be in WWE on TV still. It's very odd. And I don't know what the situation is. Everyone loves him. He has a great attitude. He's a great family man. And you know, part of the thing is like, here's my thing. He's such a good guy, man. And like, where he's probably better off outside of that environment anyways, from a life standpoint.
Right.
And where he can be around his kids, and like, because he has his priorities in line with all that. And you know, that can take you away from all of that. And so everything happens for a reason, you know. And at some point in time, I don't think that's the ideal way to come back or anything like that. But at some point, you know, hey, it'd be great to be back and be established again. And then to be in a situation where I need a tag partner. I think that's like the kind of situation, or if he was back and I was back and we're doing our own things and he needed a tag partner, to do something on that end for to reunite, like where it would be really cool. But it's, I don't know, man. It was, like I said, I love him to death. When we just talked with everything going on with all the stalker stuff. We talked quite a bit during that period. And because he'd heard quite a bit of that, and so we always joke around about like just that stuff. So,
well, I thank you for walking us through that today. I was, you know, curious about that for a long time. I got to go back to work because that was my lunch break, but I'll be listening. And as always, the big guy, I look forward to talking to you next. I'll be thinking of some further questions. But again, I appreciate your your answers and how you are with all of us. So, much love always to you.
Likewise, brother, and thank you for the great question. You have a good day.
No problem. We'll talk soon.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care.
Good deal. Thank you very much. Mike S., thank you for the super chat. Everything is in the works on that. We were letting the professionals, and when it is time, I'll have to make that announcement, guys. We will let him wait and not know when that day is coming, because there's a process that has to play out on all that. Looking at some of your chats here, guys. Everybody if you're on TikTok or IG, you could join this show at Ryback on X Spaces, Twitter Spaces, if you want to call into the show. Take a look here. Take a look at this account. Hello, welcome to the Ryback Show. Hello, hello. I will have to bring you back. You've got to turn that microphone on the bottom left on Twitter Spaces, guys, in order to hear you on the show. Next caller, hello, welcome to the Ryback Show.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Great, how are you, bro?
Fantastic, thank you. What's on your mind today?
Just a thing I want to know, are you in touch with Curtis Excel or not? Just out of my mind, quick question.
Oh, did you just hear the last caller?
No.
Oh, that was literally that was the entire conversation just for about 15 minutes with the last caller. Yeah, I talked to him a fairly good amount.
Okay. Now, the next question I was, do you ever, after Jon Moxley leave the WWE, do you ever get in contact with him? Anything like that? Like, ever met him before, after that he left WWE?
Yeah, I saw him at WrestleCon in LA. We talked for a bit, went over and gave each other a hug and had a nice little conversation.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Good deal. Just wanted to know if I've talked to a couple people. All righty then. Nothing wrong with that. Bring on Spartan Darkness. Where'd Shawnee go? I saw Shawnee in here earlier and he disappeared. He must have had something at home going on. Hello, welcome to the Ryback Show.
Hey, brother. Good to talk to you again.
Thank you for calling in.
I just wanted to bring up the fact, in the 2010s, 2012 era, there's like 4 guys that kept me watching the show. And it was Curtis Axel, and it was you, and it was Dolph Ziggler, and it was Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona. And I always felt like, Joe has so much charisma.
Yeah.
He is the man. And Dolph is probably one of the most talented wrestlers I've ever seen. He can do anything. It's like he's Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart together.
Yeah. He's great. Big fan of his.
And I love the RybAxel tag team. We love that. But I got a question for you about your if you can reveal this. I don't know, because I know it's kind of some of it's behind the scenes. But so if you wrestled Goldberg, who would be the baby and who would be the heel? You'll
have to wait and see. That the kind of stuff I wouldn't talk. I don't want to talk about that stuff. As far as that's going to be handled, that would be ruining a part of all of it. So
I figured.
Yeah.
Well,
what's that?
How is that going so far? I mean, are you?
I'm handling it. We're gonna wait and see what happens here, but it's on the top of my list of things we're trying to get done.
Do you want to do it? Because I know you mentioned on some of your other shows, you know, you might want to do it in AEW, or you might want to just do it in Vegas, just by yourself and promote it. And I kind of think the second option you could do that. I mean, look what Cody did with All In and all that. I mean, you could do that.
Oh, absolutely. That's why we got to just see what Bill would want to do and what the options are on all of it. I think there's plenty of time for all this to get worked out here, and everything is. I'm staying on track with everything I need to do, and it's going to happen if it's going to happen, and if not, it's no worries, and I will be able to do other things. So, but we'll see, to the top of my to-do list of things I'm trying to get done. So.
There's so many more, there's so many independent wrestlers now that are very talented and, you know, that don't get seen by WWE. And, you know, you could bring them in, you know who they are, you know, they're in New Japan or other companies, and you could promote this card all by yourself. I mean, I kind of think that's the way to go, you know, as far as, you know, I'm going to do this by myself, and we're going to headline. It's going to be two monsters versus each other. And I mean, I'll be sold on that card.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, thanks, brother.
All right. You have a good one. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Thank you very much. All right. We're kicking it up, guys. We're bringing on Seany. Seany always knows when to show up. I swear. Seany has great timing. They put him right at the top every time. I feel like they literally put him at the top of the queue. Seany.
Is it the big guy?
This is him.
Is this the big guy? Do you know Curtis Axel, big guy? Do you know Curtis Axel, big guy?
A lot of Curtis Axel love on today's show. Curtis Axel, last three callers all name dropped Curtis Axel. Which
I know, because it's like monkey see, monkey do, bro. That's what it is.
You're the fourth. Curtis Axel's the theme of the show today. I'm gonna text him after, like, bro, the whole show is about you. Everybody just wanted to know, like, if I still talk to you or like hang out or.
I honestly, I don't. People are gonna think I'm crazy, but I don't even know who Curtis Axel is. You know, because I didn't watch during that period. You know,
I would, Seany. I pretend. I feel like that. I know you're telling the truth, but like some wrestling fans, like that's exactly what they would say to get in with me, to try to make it seem like they're not like a hardcore mark or fan.
Like Mark.
Where it's like, yo, bro, I didn't even know you even wrestled during that period, but like I watched after, and like you seem pretty cool, and like so like I lower my guard a little bit, and like, but you're really like the biggest fan. You're wearing you bought one of my singlets on eBay. Every time you call into the Ryback show, you're wearing one of my old singlets. Your wife and kids have no idea. You like go through this whole routine to come on the show every day.
Bro, you would think, right? The amount we talk, you think like I would have like a whole, it's crazy. Like I ordered my first figure of you 2 days ago. I'm waiting for it to come. And I'm gonna take a picture with my figure and your figure.
Make sure you're in my gear.
Yeah, I got somebody made me a custom figure of myself with the Speedo on. So it's crazy. I'll share it. It looks exactly like me. It's insane.
Seany, they legit have. No, don't expect. Somebody bought like 3 of my singlets and I sold 1 pair of boots over the whole. Because I love my boots. I have multiple pairs, like airbrushed. I sold 1 pair of boots, and I think I sold 3 singlets. 3 singlets at some point in WWE early on, and like with armbands, and like they paid like a lot, thousands of dollars,
bro.
And they're on eBay. Like the guy, I don't know who it was, but they spent a lot of money on them.
So Ryder does that in the private Facebook group.
Yeah.
So like he'll he did the Rider Taker gimmick and he went on and he sold the Rider Taker gear, and just I think just it was the hat or something. It went for like $400.
Jeez.
Just the hat. And I'm not a ring-worn guy. It's just not my thing. I don't want to smell athletes' balls. You know what I mean? Bro, you have to see like I've noticed like being back as a fan and stuff, like the women fans, and I have nothing wrong with them. Like I know there's a lot of beautiful women that wrestle, and I listen, Nikita Lyons, gorgeous. Like she's drop dead gorgeous. But I'm not buying used gear so I can sniff it until it turns white. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, bro, I get messages still from people that want like my gear. Like I only sold those early on. I like keeping all my stuff.
Do you have all your gear?
Yeah, I've got everything up in my laundry room. I've got my original singlet upstairs in a case with it,
Wow.
the first one. And then I only sold 3 singlets the entire time. Because I would have a new singlet every month for 4 years.
You're smart. You're smart.
Yeah.
That's how you got so many action figures.
Yeah, with it but like I'm a big believer in like you want to get your gear, you want to stay consistent with it as well too, with like the theme and like so I would try to wear a thing for a little bit because like I'm a big fan of getting things over like color wise too. Like I always loved the Hogan had the red and yellow and like I like Razor always kind of had Razor always would like have a consistent look, but he would change it up every pay-per-view. I would remember he would do it. That's kind of, and I grew up loving him. So I kind of just used that same thing. And I would try to wear the outside of live events and stuff, but on TV, I would try to wear the prior month's pay-per-view singlet on TV all the time, and then get to bring a new one on the next pay-per-view so people would know that it was a new one from wearing the same one for the month prior. Because I would want so I tried to do things like that so the new one would pop out more. Whereas if you wear a different one every single show, then it's harder to tell when you're wearing a new one or not wearing a new one. And so
all your like from the pictures that I've seen, like all your gear was super toyetic, man. Like very like abstract colors and like did you get any of that inspiration from like Van Damme at all? Because like Van Damme used to wear those like colorful singlets too.
Well, it's him. He was but before him, Rob was part of it. It was and the guys and just talking to him today, dude. Adam Bomb he had badass singlets. We were
talking about that.
Yeah, we were just talking again today though on because he went to BioAccelerator and we were talking about it. We were going back and forth on Instagram and because dude, he posts like a lot of his old footage and I love seeing that. I liked him so much growing up and would always watch his matches, but a lot of time has gone by. I forgot like how much that played a role. And even like Ultimate Warrior, he had a brief period where he wore the singlets and he had the airbrush singlets and all that. And this is all stuff I grew up watching.
Adam Bomb singlets right now, they are so cool.
Yeah, but he had the cool colors. So all of that stuff subconsciously was in my mind because that's the stuff I was drawn to as a kid. So that's what I would try to do that with my mentality of the things I liked with the cool colors. With all of that,
I didn't know that the Warrior wore singlets, but I'm looking at it, and you're right. He had like You're right. He had airbrush.
My singlets look more like his. Like my stuff is different from their. But this stuff was before Van Damme. Guys like Adam Bomb and Wrath, his singlets as Wrath were really cool as well. And Warrior briefly. This stuff it wasn't just Rob, but Rob made it his own and with his own identity with it.
Yes.
And then I came along and then I asked Rob permission. Rob was the one because he was the one that was known for it in WWE for that period of time and how long and in wrestling. Yes. And I asked Rob.
It stood out. You're right. It stood out. With
it was his.
A lot of guys were wearing it, that type of gear.
Yeah.
You know.
And I reached out to him and I never met him or talked to him when after Vince told me he wanted me in a singlet and they had me in a black singlet and I was like, I got to do something with this. So I got to go hold of Rob and I just said, is it all right if I do some airbrushing? No, I don't want to do like the things you did. I want to kind of like a Terminator machine kind of theme to start off. And dude, he was so cool about it. But I just felt,
awesome,
I just think it's like, cause I didn't know if he was going to come back. And at that time he had no intentions of coming back. And he goes, bro, he goes, absolutely. And so I always but like a lot of times I'm big on things like that, like asking people before if they're still going to be involved or whatnot. Cause if he would have said like, I stay away from it, I would have just I would have went a different route with it. So
Yeah. I mean, that's the respectful thing to do, and then I feel like that respect now has gone out.
It is. A lot of people will just like
That's why people fight.
Yeah, but dude, we have to respect the people that came before us because they're the reason we even got into it. Like it's so crazy.
Absolutely.
I like. If you ever heard like Mike Tyson talk about the people he grew up watching, he has such love and admiration. And respect for whether he could beat these people or not. He talks as if he gets it. Where then I think like we get up there, part of it is it's insecurity where like your ego and you want to believe you're so much better than anybody that ever came before, like, or it's insecurities you want to feel. It's like, man, all these people, the reason why we even got into this business is because these people made a decision before that lived before us to follow their dreams. And like, so it's like, why would you go out of your way to like be disrespectful to people that came before? And it goes both ways. And we've talked about that, like people that do the podcasting and like, and if you're out of the business or it's like me, like that's why I don't shit on the things going on with the people like on that. They're the ones doing it now. I'm not doing it anymore. But it's like, if you want people to respect you, you got to respect them with it. And it's like, it's a two-way street on, you can't be like just bashing everything like some of the people do and expect like the young people to like, there's a way, if you want to get a point or a message across, there's a way to talk and do it.
There's a way to do it.
Yeah. So.
I'm looking at the Ultimate Warrior. I didn't realize, but when he was the Ultimate Maniacs with Macho, so Macho's my favorite wrestler ever.
Oh, they had such cool gear too together.
That gear is insane. I'm looking at it now. It's like a bunch of bricks,
and
in the middle it has his what is that? Like his face paint design, and then it says Ultimate Maniacs. Like that is so cool.
That's the one I thought. I've seen that. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's where like all that stuff to me, like I love stuff because as a kid, that was what outside of the intensity and energy and the look that gets your attention right away. And so I always had that in mind for my singlets on things of color schemes because I had a huge kid fan base on that as well. The adults are from how you present yourself and your attitude and your identity and how you speak. But with kids and younger kids, how you look plays a huge role.
Yeah, I'm looking at the one that you talking about, the Terminator one. That one is awesome, bro. That one is really cool.
That's the one I've got upstairs, and I got it redone and like where it looks pretty solid. And man, that stuff I've got to like. I have an airbrush person still. I haven't used because I haven't obviously wrestled now for a while. But like I had a girl the whole time up there. And I actually had RVD's original guy for the first beginning and then transitioned to this girl that I'd met that did like motorcycles and all this airbrushing. And she did like, oh man. So I had like a great system where I'd have the guy that would make my single.
Popeye one? You had a Popeye one?
Bro, oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, bro. That is so cool.
I'd have to go back and look. Every month I would just try to do something creative. I go, what can they do to stand out or to this? And like, so yeah, it was, but all these people, I'm not the one that I just did that with my mindset of things. All these people before, they're the ones that I got the ideas from originally. So.
Yeah. So Big Guy, how does it work for the fans? Like, do you pay for your own gear or like, how does that work? Like behind the scenes?
Yeah. Oh, you got to pay for everything. So like, I'd have the guy that made the singlets. So like once you get like the singlet, like luckily I stayed the same size. So we never had to change like the dimensions. So it was like, hey, I need he would just have all the colors. Hey, I would get like 2 or 3 done at a time. I would try to stay in advance. Sometimes it would get things would have to be last minute, but I'm like, hey, I need this, and this, white, blue, green. And then I would send over my idea of a design. Of like something I would find an image online and then send it. He would make the singlet and send it to the airbrush girl. The airbrush girl would have my designs and like everything was just PayPal. So I'd PayPal for the guy for the singlet. I had to PayPal the girl for the airbrushing with it. And every singlet was, I'd have to go back and look, but we're talking off the top of my head, $400 or $500 in that range. So like by the time you're paying for the fabric and the singlet to get made and then the shipping and then the airbrush and like that airbrush girl was, so that was, $300-400 depending on, cause that takes time. And like and there's people that even charge a lot more. She was really good with everything. So, and then like they'd have to ship it back to my house. And then I'd have it. I'm on the road ready to go. The wrestling boots, same thing. You don't need to get those done as often, but I'd have like 3 or 4 pairs at all times, just so you're.
Man, you had some really great gear. I'm looking at one of the gear. I think this is one of them that you sold. It was black, yellow, and the white.
Yeah.
And you signed it Ryback Feed Me More.
Yeah.
And it's insane, bro. It has like a big R in the front. It looks like a ring a little bit. Wow.
Some of those
cool,
might have been
man.
faded even too a little, those ones. But like
that's awesome, bro.
They look good. Like they would look, some of the paint would last longer than others. Sometimes though, I'd wear it like a few times and the sweat would cause it to start fading pretty quick. So I'd have to send them back to get retouched up, to get redone again and things. And then like eventually I had some where the fabric, I had redone them so many times that because the fabric started ripping on them. So there's a couple that I had to retire that I still have, like they were stretching out, like where you don't want to blow the bottom out of it or anything. Like they just start really wearing.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Do you know Rory Fox from?
Oh, dude, I know that the match with. I remember he did a thing on MTV, Rapid Delivery, Rory Fox, and bro, you talk about. I cannot imagine how do you go out there though and not have like we were always taught. We were taught in developmental though, and like it's common sense. Like wear something, whether it's a thong, whether it's another pair of tights, you wear a pair of tights.
Something under.
Yeah. You don't just go out and there was legit a meeting and Cody was there for this. There was a guy in OVW named Chris Rombola. Okay. Rombola. That was everyone. Rombola. And if you look him up on YouTube, you guys will know who Chris Rombola is.
I just looked him up.
He wore orange neon tights. Okay. Nobody's smartened Rombola up. So Rombola would wrestle on OVW TV, and he had a great look as far as like to Vince, as far as looking like a pro wrestler. But he didn't really understand. Rombola did not wear under tights, so you could see Rombola's little guy every time he was on. Like,
see the Rombolas.
Yeah, you could see the Rombola. No, but like, I remember Cody and like the other guys, like there was a group discussion in the back, like, and Al Snow was like, guys, we have to somebody has to smarten him. We can't have him going out there. Like you couldn't, like, it was as if he was just not wearing tights. Like they were like this see-through. So like you wear under tights before you go out. So I don't know how Rory didn't have a thong or something that you can just throw on. Yeah. You got to have something under that.
Smarten everybody up to what happened, big guy. I don't know if everybody knows.
Yeah, no, not everyone knows. You want to go ahead.
Yeah, so there's this wrestler, Rapid Delivery, Rory Fox, and he's a part of the Major Pod Network actually now, and that's how I know him. So he had a match with Zack Ryder.
Dark match.
A dark match. It wasn't on TV.
Thank God.
And they were on the top rope, and apparently, like Zach went to go grab to do like a suplex or something, and his whole crotch on TV, his whole ass is shown, like not on TV, but like in pictures.
Thousands of people in the audience.
Thousands of people. His full bare ass is out. He's trying to keep them together.
Bro, everything was out, wasn't the whole?
Everything was out. Yeah.
The ass is the least of the worries on this. The steak and potatoes are just they're out for everybody. Buffet.
And it was a huge rib. Like everybody, it's still a joke today. Rory is the sweetest, nicest guy. He's in great shape still. If you go back, and for the younger people in here listening, if you go back and watch True Life MTV, Becoming a Pro Wrestler, he was one of the people that was on that show as well.
That's how I knew of him. Yeah.
Yes. So
he actually, they had to finish the match, and like he had to get rolled up. Then he's like, there's no I can't even imagine. Thank God that wasn't on TV. Thank
God. Yeah, they said Matt talked about it, big guy, and he said when they finally did show the video of it, it was all from the top up. So you couldn't see any below,
Yeah.
So they end up like editing it so it didn't look bad on Rory. But man, that story, it pops me every single time, man. Every time.
There's no other like as a wrestler though, like you get just it's so ridiculous. Like you think like what because you're out there like you're wrestling in underwear essentially, or like it's a crazy thing how like and like how it all is to begin with. But like just to have like that happen, it's like Brock's shorts ripped
Yes,
for some reason.
that.
And I was trying to figure out, I go, when did that even happen? Because I didn't notice it until the very end. But like he was even like holding
like it wasn't even on the scene, big guy. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And like
it was a weird rip.
I don't know if Cody, like when they were in that submission hold, if like something happened where Cody's foot or something got caught on the shorts and like ripped him from a weird spot.
Oh, that's possible.
Something like that,
possible.
I feel like is what because it didn't. I didn't notice it until the very end. But even Brock, like those shorts were pretty close to him wrestling in his underwear or whatever he was.
Yeah, bro, they were shorts. They were. That's what you call a knickerbocker.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But thank God Brock like had the like Brock knew to like wear something under the. If Brock would have pulled a Rombola, that would have been SummerSlam. Would have been a whole other experience for a lot of people. Do you imagine though? You just shorts like Brock just decides to not. Brock doesn't wear underwear underneath the fighting shorts, and early on, 3 minutes into the match, they just completely rip.
Nobody would even say anything.
Dude, they got to but that whole match for Cody is to go out there and win and like to do that and to tell that story, and just gets overshadowed by Brock not wearing underwear under his shorts.
Bro, Brock is just like another level human being,
Dude,
and
he looked ridiculous too for SummerSlam.
Oh my, bro, he's just like you know. I know that like farm boys are like just naturally big in general. Like they're built different. Like it reminds me of like Samoans, right? Like I've never met a Samoan that isn't like big, you know, like naturally big and like naturally like tougher than the normal human being, you know? And it just blows my mind. And Brock is that guy. Like, I can't imagine, like, and in that one class, like, of when they came up, did you come after them, big guy, or you came?
No, after them. But you're talking about in OVW, there was Brock, Batista, Cena, Orton, Cena, Shelton Benjamin was in there too, which is a badass.
That's like insane. That was like the WWE for the next 12 years.
Yeah, that whole there was a whole group of guys down there, and you know, there was a guy Rico Constantino who was Rico in WWE up there. It had a nice
Constantino.
Yeah, you know him if you saw him, if you watched those. He was up in WWE for a good amount of time, but he was older. But he was a badass. He was a legit. He's still. I just saw him last year. He was working outside. He's a police officer.
Oh, I see. I'm looking on the images. I see he's a policeman
now. He was really sick, and like I had him on my show years ago, and he was in really bad health. And I know he was older because he was older when his time in WWE. And then late last year, I ran and I was down by the strip, and I had to go get gas, and I ran into the gas station. And I hear a guy as I'm walking back to my car. He goes, Reeves, and it was a cop, and I go, oh no, and oh God, what did I do? And I turn around and look, and it's Rico, and he's like all jacked up and looks, and I go, Rico, and went over and talked to him for a bit, but that particular, it's right by the airport, is there, like he was working, like there's like something, like I don't know if stuff was going on, but like he was but it was a good conversation to see him, and like he's doing great, man. But he was like in that class. They had a lot of like just badass guys in that crew.
Yeah, I'm looking right now, and you're right. Like they said, Rico Constantino, an amazing WWE prospect who never worked out.
He did work out though. What a horrible thing to
not work out. Like worked out. Like he didn't end up becoming a big star. That's what it means.
But he had a great run though. He wasn't a heavyweight the champion. But anybody that knows. But this guy, dude, he was American Gladiators. He won American Gladiators at some point as a contestant.
Wow.
Like this guy just is like he's had success his whole life. Like with things, he's lived an amazing life. But he's one of the most fascinating guys. Like, and I love the dude, man. He's but like I hate things like that article even is phrased like that because he had a great run up there, and like a lot of people, he was very entertaining with that.
Yeah, I agree. Just because you don't make it and to be a WWE champion, like what's the percentage of people that actually win
No,
a
it's small. That you don't
championship?
even. That's not even a thing that'd be successful there. Some of the best
Exactly.
names don't have championships that often because depending on how their names are and whatnot. But like that, he though had a successful career with that.
Yep.
He worked hard.
Yep.
He got into developmental late and he made it and he had a nice run up there with that. So like that's just negative journalism on that. Like that very easily,
Yep.
if they would have told the story of his life and him having his run, that's a successful, happy story. But that's just trash media trying to make something like whatever.
You remind me. So this is I'll say this and then I'll let you go. But so about 4 years ago, I went from being a loan officer's assistant and like helping a loan officer with the paperwork and talking to the clients when they're buying a home or whatever. And then I end up. I was awesome at that. Like I was the best of the best, and my loan officer was not trying to let me go get my license because he knew he was going to lose me. And when he lost me, now you lose somebody that's helping him make a lot of money, right?
Yep.
So instead of me making him money, I was like, no, I'm going to make my own money. So I end up going out on my own. And when you're a loan officer, like I'm only commissioned. So like if I don't close any loans, I don't make money, right? So like I work for myself and everything is on my shoulders, right? And I like it that way because I trust myself and I know that I'm going to work hard and do whatever I have to do to get business and to be a good person. And I had a talk with my friend and I was having a good year, but it wasn't the best year. And it was my first year that I went on my own. And I spoke to one of my friends and he said, Sean, he goes, you're the most successful guy I know. And I said, what do you mean? He's like, and I'm talking, this guy is like a millionaire, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, Shawnee, he goes, I've never met anybody in my life that smiles as much as you. Your kids have a roof over their head. They eat every day. He goes, what does success mean to you? And I said, and I started crying, big guy. I swear to God, I started crying on the phone because like nobody ever said it that way to me. Because I always looked at success by money. But at the end of the day, money, yes, do we need it? Absolutely. But it's not the end all be all. And it doesn't make you successful just because you're rich.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go into it, all of that. It's people have a skewed perception too of what success is. I was just listening to this other podcast the other day. I saw a clip that I think Gary that listens to here on the Ryback show posted. I just saw part of it, but it was with a guy with all these women and like they from Vegas, and they have like he was talking about like these women had like a flawed view of what the world really was in success because of just being in Vegas, of what they were exposed to, and that the guy was giving them just facts of things, and it was like the average male income. It was, and they were like. And this is after they'd been asked other things, so they knew it wasn't going to be nowhere near what they thought it was. So that like played a part in them even answering lower than they would have had it been the first question. But like a lot of them were like 100,000 or like 75,000, and I think it was like 30-something thousand.
The median is 37,000.
Yeah, and I think the household is like 67 or 68 or 9.
Yeah.
And so like people where you just get put into perspective of like you're like what they were talking about, like they would see a guy working the door and a guy, and the average like person too, he was talking about height, like the average height I think is 5'8" or 5'9" for men on that, in which that they didn't realize that as well. And they thought like in the percentage of people that are over 6 foot is just 1%, I think. And it's something, it's either that or I believe that I want to say it's 6 feet. It was 1% of the population is over 6 feet tall. And then if 6'3" and above is ridiculously low with it. But but these women, like, so he was like telling them if they meet like a doorman who makes, $75,000 a year, who's interested in them and who's 6'5" and in shape and looks good, that guy is so rare, but they're so used to seeing that, like that, where that guy is like low to them because of like how
because of the people that roll in Vegas.
Yeah. And so like the perception of that these women had of like what the world really is, and social media really gives people a false perception of that.
100%, big guy.
And it's real, like in reality, though, a lot of people are suffering, and I've done this and I hope to do more. And one of my friends I know, hopefully go do. And when you go help people, and like homeless people, or hand out food to people that are like just going, they don't have food to feed their families all week, and like, or have to go to food collecting things, and to just to get enough to get some canned goods just to get through the day or the week with that. And like, you see the urgency of like, or how, fragile life is, and with everything, and it's because it's crazy, man. It's a crazy, and I've been.
You could be in that situation that they're in.
We all could be,
like,
in very,
yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, it's a very like weird subject, but like it's so true. And the way that people perceive everybody nowadays with social media, it's like, because everybody doesn't post bad stuff; they post all the good stuff,
and
right?
as they should. And nobody, because too,
of
why,
course,
I want to. If you post something, why would? Because then you're being negative or being down. It's going to attract people. It's so, or you're trying like, and I understand there's levels to it, but typically we post things of like in a good mood or something. It's like too, like I tell people, you don't want to get caught up in there's how many billions of people, 8-9 billion people on the planet. There's only one of us. So like, if we get caught up on just watching other people all the time, and like we watch, say we have 20 people that we all are exposed to on social media, that we're shown 20 different people in our feed a lot. Like even though we could see hundreds or thousands, but there's like 20 people that we maybe see a lot of like their day of what's going on, and they're all going to be doing different things. It's very easy to get caught up in like just watching what all these people are doing. Like somebody's eating at a nice restaurant that they might only go to once all year with that. And like, or like where there's a big family function and they get pictures for the weekend, and that's the only time they've been out in the last 5 years with it. But like, but you're getting all, and somebody's out at the beach, and it's their family vacation at the beach they've been planning for 3 years. Like,
but that's all you're seeing.
Yeah, and you're just seeing boom, 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 and like, and then all of a sudden, like it's overwhelming if you don't have like, you don't understand that, if you don't put it into understand the reality of the situation, and like be content and happy with what you're doing. So, but everyone's dealing with that on that, and where it's like you just want to do what's best for you and live your life, but this stuff can give us a false perception. I see people that post things. I'm not even joking. I've said bro like 10 times today. I'm turning into Vince Russo. This is bro.
I think I'm sorry, man. I think I say bro a lot. I don't know.
You're rubbing off on the I'm turning this show. We'll see. I just caught it though. I go, wait a second. I'm saying the word bro, and I never use the word bro outside of like a rare, like if I'm trying to make a point. I'm all thrown off now.
Sorry, big guy.
No,
sorry.
but a girl I knew. So it looked like she had everything together. Like if you would not like it looked like she had money, her own place. Like you would think that like, and she looked the way she like just had it together.
The way she portrayed herself online.
She moved to Vegas, and she invited me over to her place. This was a couple years ago, and it could not have been anything. I showed up. She lived in a horrible part of town with it, and like it was an apartment, but it was not in a good area. And I'm talking an empty apartment, nothing. She just had the kitchen was kind of dirty, and she had an air mattress, and then she had a photo light and some photo stuff with it, and then a bunch of makeup, and she didn't have the makeup on when I went there, and it was
she didn't have makeup.
she didn't have the makeup on.
No way you're getting on an air mattress and doing the thing.
No, but it was the furthest thing from the reality of she was presenting to people. And I was sitting there, I was in shock. I was trying to figure out how has she worked this magic to like, she would post like something with a corner and set something up. She like was a magician in making things like look. And I go, there's now I always look and I watch people when they're posting, like, especially like women and things. And I go, oh wait, they don't have a bed frame. And like, I just notice little things like
stuff like that.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean anything like, but we're all like, you don't need a bed, but like,
bro, all these rappers, they have fake jewelry on and they're saying they bought it for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And then people like normal people, they want to be like them, so they go and they overspend on things
Yeah.
that they shouldn't, you
And
know,
then lose their house and then they don't know.
Exactly. Like I'll tell you this, right? Like, so like I said, I do mortgages. I pull people's credit all the time. I had this guy, he made over like $500,000 a year, right? Which is like a great income, right? Like, it's a great income.
Absolutely.
He had a 520 credit score, and he had 3 cars that were worth like $100,000+ that each had over $1,500 a month payment on it.
Oh.
So just in cars, he had over $4,500 worth of payment.
Not counting insurance for all 3 of those cars.
Not counting insurance, exactly. And he didn't own a house, right? So to me, like, I literally, like, I'm not a financial planner, but I had a talk with him, and I was like, listen, I know I'm not your financial guy, but you're making way too much money to be just throwing it away like this.
Yeah.
And I helped him fix his credit. He got rid of those cars. He drives a very nice...
An Altima?
He doesn't hate Ultimas, I'll tell you that.
Altima with spinning rims.
He went to me, he goes, Sean, he goes, I started making money that I didn't even know what to do with. He grew up like me, and like poor, and nobody taught us. My parents still don't have a credit card.
I had to read when I started making money. I had to start really learning really quickly, because if you can, like, and I've always have common sense.
Did your parents teach you anything about credit or anything?
No, dude, nothing. No.
Same, man.
I don't think a lot of ours. I think we're all in the same group boat. A lot of us from our age and things.
I agree. It's like, why isn't that taught in school?
I would much rather learn financial planning in life over playing Oregon Trail.
Exactly, right? Like, I love the Oregon.
Don't get me wrong, I loved it too, but like, I that was probably the okay. Let me take that back. I don't want to take out Oregon Trail time, because that was actually a fond memory as a kid. Yeah, but like the English or something, reading certain
some of this math that we learn in school that we'll never use, right?
Exactly.
Like X squared, like, unless you're going to be like a builder or
we'll definitely want them doing it, but like for most of us, we don't.
Them to go to math class.
Yeah.
But like somebody like who doesn't need math in their job, why should they take this crazy math that they're never going to use in their life when they could go and learn about the real life stuff, like hey, balancing your checkbook and checking account, like getting a credit card and knowing that, hey, like, my mentality when I was a kid, like 18 years old, was like, hey, I'm going to get a credit card and I'm going to just spend it and I'll never pay it back. Yeah. That was my mentality, because that's the only thing I knew as a kid, you know?
That's what a lot of people do still too. Like, that's,
it's like, oh yeah, like, and I'm not gonna lie, I had that mentality, like, oh, the banks make millions of dollars, they'll write off my $1,000 credit card, like, and I'll be fine, and that's the furthest thing from the truth, because you need credit for everything. You need it for everything nowadays. If you have crap credit, it's okay. You can fix it. You know, you can fix it, but you have to start and you have to do things to get on the right track. And that takes research, like you said, you know?
Yeah. In school too, like even like mindset, like on a positive mindset, and not saying you have to like, and everyone's different, their views on like religion and different things, but just like a positive mindset on taking a positive approach to life, like things that like successful people that have been proven to be a common trait in successful, happy people. Like, why isn't like that taught? And like mindset, the mindset should be is just as important as anything, because that determines like how people approach life, no matter what they do. But you want as many people having a positive mindset, and like it's odd with that.
I completely agree. Yeah, I think the two biggest things in like scams in the U.S. is healthcare and school. Because they put you into debt. Big guy, I've seen some people like that I've done mortgages for. They're in over like $400,000 of debt in school loans.
Yeah,
like, bro, they're gonna be paying that back their whole life.
Yep,
their whole life. It's just crazy, man.
It's
insane.
It's scary.
I'm sorry to get off topic, but
no, we no, it's good. This is, I like it. We never know where we're gonna go. This is no script needed on this. We just talk.
Yeah, I just, it's really important for people to see this stuff. Like doctors shouldn't have to pay for schooling. Like
No.
they're the people that save people's lives every single day.
Yep.
Why should they be in $800,000 debt to learn how to save people's lives? Like
Yeah.
there's something wrong there.
The
you
whole
know?
system,
Like,
it just doesn't. The people that from teachers to firefighters to policemen and women and doctors, the people like these are people that are instrumental in our society functioning in the way that we do, and like it's crazy that the system is just odd and weird how things, it's like teachers, police officers, these people make so little compared to for what especially police officers, for the risk they have to take every day with that. Like it's a scary thing when you see like, and it's I don't know, man.
now cops get paid better. Like after 5 years in New York, they get paid $75,000. When my dad retired, he retired in 2002. He was making $72,000 as a grade 1 detective.
Wow,
that's the highest detective you could be in NYPD, and he was making $72,000. On his pension right now, he gets $2,500 a month only. That's it. And then at the end of the year, he gets a $10,000 check, because when New York City was like they were in bad shape, they had borrowed money from the police officers' pensions, and in the contract of borrowing the money, they said whoever they borrow money from, the cops will get a $10,000 check every year for the rest of their lives once they retire. So that's all he gets. So he gets $2,500 a month for risking his life every single day for 20 years for other people.
It's nuts.
And now they get paid more. Don't get me wrong. Like a normal cop's retirement, you'll probably get like $5,000-6,000 a month, which you can live on. But you can't live on $2,500 a month. Like it's ridiculous.
No, especially in New York, or like, just like even you're having to live extremely conservatively.
He had to go work like after he retired, he ended up being the lead security on Law and Order SVU. And he did that for 14 years. Like Ice-T, Mariska, he bodyguarded them. He was their main bodyguard.
Wow. But that's crazy. It just doesn't. You're right. It doesn't. The whole world, man. Everything
is just messed up, right, bro? Like it's just like.
But we have so many people that are ungrateful too for even the things like we have, like just the roads that we have, and like I always do it every day when I do my affirmations. Like I say thank you to everybody that came before that for the whatever the role every person has played for us to have the luxuries that we have now. Like I acknowledge it every single day in my affirmations when I go through my deal on that, because I was like, we take things for granted on things like, dude, I was just saw a thing on TikTok the other day, or IG, on the in San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge of that, the construction on that, just mind blowing on the risk though, the people that like they had to go underground and like they had to build concrete, these barriers, and put them into the water. However, they just watching these things to build this bridge on, and then suck the water out of it. And then they had to people had to take the elevators down. They had to construct all this and go down, and they were underneath and dig out, and like they had to dig under to get the construction, the whole infrastructure to sink like another 15, 20, 30 feet, or how many ever feet to get to the hard rock layer to where it's sturdy. Because there's a but like there's humans working under this for each post, essentially, like going on. It's just like how, and I know that wasn't the first one that came. There was other bridges built before that, but like just something like that we have every day to commute, or people to commute to get from one side to the other. Like the lives and the risk, or like iron workers. Have you seen the videos on those guys walking on front of like the big cities on the buildings before there were harnesses and things, and you're just like, what the hell?
Yeah, the pictures of them eating sandwiches on the I don't know if you ever seen those pictures, big guys.
Smoking, drinking,
smoking, and then like it's nothing, like 100 stories in the air.
Dude, they're literally 100 stories in the air working. Just like, and you just looked at one wrong step, you fall, you go lightheaded, you're done. Like it's.
There's a story, guys. So in Bay Ridge, where I grew up, there's something called the Verrazano Bridge, and it connects Staten Island and Brooklyn, right? And they had to. It's the longest bridge between, I don't know what they're called, big guy, but you know, like how the bridge, it goes like up and then it has those two pillars on each side. So it's the longest distance between pillar to pillar, apparently, on this bridge. And there is there's like what do you call that, like a store, like there's these stories that people, while they were constructing it, fell into the cement and they couldn't save them, so they literally were buried in the cement, and they're still there today, apparently.
Oh my God.
Yep. Think about that, bro.
Oh.
That like scared my lights out when I heard that. You know?
Can you imagine? Like, I would hope that I wonder what the distance was from falling into the cement, that if they would have not been knocked unconscious in the fall,
they had to die. They had to die.
Died on impact rather than.
They had to die on impact. Yeah, they had to. I mean, it's way too far.
And on that just. Oh, what a horrible man!
It's crazy, and I'm gonna say one last thing, and I'll let you go, big guy. But the next thing is also, which I have a big gripe with, is how that you need school like 60 credits to become a police officer, and that's what stopped me from becoming a police officer. I took the cop test in New York. I got a 99 on it.
Oh, man.
And I would have been a great cop. I got called right away, but at the time I was I didn't go to school. But I went to like one semester of college because I hated school so much.
So they wouldn't let you in.
So they wouldn't let me in without 60 credits, and I just said, I told my dad, like, I'm sorry, and I'm not gonna go that route.
What are those 60 credits? What would those do to make you a better police officer, do you think?
Nothing. That's my point. So this is the point. I'm a kid. I'm a city kid. I grew up in the hood. I was one of the only white kids in my neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
And I know how it works. I know who's dealing drugs. I could go to a corner store and tell you who's dealing drugs, who's in a gang member, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
They let people become, I don't know about other states, but people from Long Island, where I live now, where it's suburby, the white kids would come into the city and become a cop. And then all of a sudden, they get put into the middle of the projects.
Yep.
They're scared as hell because they never dealt with any situation like this. And there was a thing a couple of years ago where this rookie cop, he was in the projects, and I don't know if you ever been in a projects, big guy, but the staircases are disgusting.
Yeah.
And the lowlives hang out in the staircases.
Yep.
So like if the elevator's out, you got to walk down there. Like I wouldn't let any female walk by herself. Like, so I would go, whatever, you go down there, you nobody bothers you as long as you don't bother them. This cop came in or whatever. They got a call that there was a disturbance in the hallway. He came in and a guy was just walking out, and he got scared and he killed the guy because he didn't know that this guy was just walking down the stairs, not doing anything. But because they had a disturbance, he was so scared that he had the finger on the trigger right away. And that's the problem with that, is like, why do you need 60 credits to be a cop? Like, what does that do for anybody?
I just think you're taking away common sense, or somebody that has real life experience that could be beneficial to.
Exactly.
But
that's my point.
That's a lot of things. That's why I said it's just like, to be a police officer, you want to make sure you can pass the criteria that's involved to be a police officer. And again, there's things in real life experience. Not everyone's going to have that real life experience, but if you have somebody that wants to be a cop that has that real life experience with that, like, and for that area, I don't know. It's just.
Yeah, make them like shadow a cop before they get a gun.
Yeah.
Like make them go to these neighborhoods before they get a gun and give them a taser and have them follow the older cops. And like there's ways to do it, but it's all about money.
It is. But that's where we were getting at with that. It's like, it's a ridiculous requirement to get people paid for things that aren't necessary. That, like, we have to look as a society and things like we need to be able to make adjustments. I think that we need to make adjustments too. Like, with things going on for the homeless community. I think every big city, every city needs to start taking measures to have a better rehab program and to get people off the streets to try to, because this only hurts all of us. We don't want our cities getting run down. We don't want people. We have to try to get people off of drugs and give them an opportunity to get them back into society functioning at whatever level. Like, there's so many things that we just keep going down the wrong way, that, like, this is where I was talking about, like, with the pandemic and when they did all this stuff and people losing their livelihoods and their business, in which the homeless community is at an all-time high, like, just getting worse and worse and worse, is we now have more and more people with nothing to lose. That's getting very dangerous with that, where people are going to go, what's the point? And then when they do that, then they start looking in, and that anger builds, and then they turn against from your leaders to the cops to the people that are playing a role in keeping things going. Like, we have to make some really, really key changes at some point to this whole thing, because it's like, it's all crumbling. Like, it's scary.
And why do they make people go to school? Because guess what? The government gets money from school loans, right? Like, so it all comes around to that. But I took enough of your time, big guy. I love talking to you, man. And I hope you have the best day today, man.
Shawnee, you too, brother. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. You have a good one.
You too, man. Later.
Bye.
Later.
Good deal. I saw Shawnee. I saw in one of the comments yesterday, and they go, Shawnee needs to be the co-host. And I go, he already kind of is. We bring him on for a big chunk of the show every day. It's the best part of the show, I feel like, because it just creates natural conversation. Shawnee doesn't ask typical, like, you'll be some wrestling stuff, which I love the wrestling stuff with all that, but there's also non-wrestling stuff, which I think is one of the cool things. I like talking about other things, and I'm not an expert in a lot of things. I enjoy talking about them. Bring on Smokey. Hello. Welcome to the Ryback Show.
Oh my God, my heart's pounding. I just wanna tell you that you're my all-time favorite wrestler, and that my favorite match that you were in was February 8th, 2013. You, Chris Jericho, and Sheamus versus The Shield. They kind of did abuse you on the ropes, and you eventually kind of tagged Chris Jericho, and he did a little springboard. Then you kind of got powerbombed through a table, but we don't talk about that. I also really did love the Team Authority versus Team Cena, and when Stephanie McMahon said you were fired after you got pinned, I may or may not have gotten a little emotional, but we don't talk about that. My question is, so I'm pretty sure you've seen that Roman Reigns has been going pretty crazy. Like, his streak is crazy. And you've seen people like return, such as like Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and they kind of all lost. And my question is, do you think you would return one last time to fight Roman Reigns?
There's a lot that would have to happen to even get that to even be a possibility. So I don't foresee that even coming close to being done.
I would love to see it, though.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. I do. It's I like Roman a lot, and we've worked together quite a bit over the years and whatnot. But like I said, there's a lot of things that would have to be done from their standpoint, and even then, the trust has been completely dissolved, and it's just there's no trust. So,
all right, that's all I really had to ask.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you very much.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
I got to give it to you straight. I'm not going to lie. That would be, they have to. I've got enough going on, and I'm very happy. And after I can't stress enough the social media stuff and what's going on. And we're talking millions of dollars on this alone. They know, they're fully aware of everything they've done. They know exactly everything they are doing with this. So and it's all illegal. There's nothing legal about what they're doing. It's illegal. It's immoral. And there's nothing, there's enough places for me to go to get my wrestling fix and to be happy, where I don't have to sacrifice that. No. Hey, if they want to right all the wrongs of the past and publicly admit everything they've done, hey, go right ahead. Be my guest. But that we know how they are, and that's not happening. So we will wait for the truth to win, and they get exposed, and then let things play out how they will. but I'm going to keep moving on, keep living my life. You guys can all see the things going on. I think it's very evident to the majority of people of just exactly how severe this all is with everything. So let me see here. Bring on a new caller. Kirk, bring on old Kirk. Shawnee.
Yo, what's up, Ryback?
Hello, welcome to the Ryback Show. What's on your mind?
Nothing much. Dude, I used to watch you all the time. I had you on one of my birthday cakes when I was like 7, 8 years old. You were on my birthday cake one year.
Oh man, I remember they had a Ryback cake, like the thing you could do for the top of the cake, right?
Yeah, it was like paper. It was
Yeah,
like paper.
yeah. They had a birthday
fire.
card too. There was
Yeah,
the Ryback birthday card and cake. I think I made it.
It was, you were like one of my favorites growing up.
Thank you very much, buddy.
Now, I have a question that I heard something. I read like an article that you got like a couple missed calls from WWE a couple days ago. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know what they are. There's people, and Shawnee, we were talking about it with the guy that was just on yesterday with it. There's ways. There's ways for people to do the calls from where it comes from, the WWE office, but I don't know. They didn't answer. I don't care. So
yeah. No, which one would you go to? Like, if you had a choice, would you go to AEW or would you go back to WWE?
Oh, I don't think there's nothing in me. Like I just want my social media fixed and to keep living my life.
Yeah.
And I think I've been pretty clear on once I get cleared, and we'll see what happens with everything and what the options are going to be with it. I think I could be very content and happy and make a better living doing what I'm doing right now and just even doing some independent shows in wrestling. But I would like, ultimately, television is very beneficial for me with everything I got going on.
Yeah. I was low-key, I was a little mad WrestleMania 32 when he lost to Kalisto. I was really mad when he lost that match.
Thank you. It's all right though. It's everybody wins and loses in it, so it happens from time to time. Sure. And I was leaving, so I had no problem with it whatsoever.
Yeah, wasn't it? It was for a title, right? Wasn't it?
That was for the U.S. Championship. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I thought we had some really, really good, fun matches, so I was really happy with those.
Oh yeah. Well, all right. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, buddy, and thank you for listening. I hope everything keeps going well for you. All right.
Oh yes, thank you.
All right, take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Good deal. Thank you. I always forget they had a run. They had like the Home Depot. They had Ryback pub tables, dartboards. We had some random, just crazy things they made. There was birthday cakes on birthday cards. So that was where I was like, that was like during the really hot year. There was like on some really cool things. I remember Walmart. I was on towels and rafts. That's all you need though. It's a blessing because you get ingrained in people's brains when it had a meaningful impact. And so I'm always grateful for that. That's where, like, I go to the gym. Yesterday at the gym, there was a kid working out with his dad. And this kid couldn't have been old enough to watch me. He had to have been really little when I was on TV. And the dad came over to me, and I was doing legs. And the dad, he goes, "Would it be okay if my son, he knows you? Can he have a picture?" And I said, "Of course." And he went and got his son, and he was younger, and he came over and did the photo, and then went back to my workout. But like, they remember about that because I've stayed pretty consistent and the same. So I'm like, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Let me see here. Bring on one more caller here. Bring on Christian. Christian, welcome to the Ryback Show. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Ryback.
How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
Good deal. What's on your mind?
I have a question. Has anyone ever recognized you from your viral meme of you eating like a bag of chips and just blatantly staring into the camera? And oh, my bad.
No, go ahead. Keep going.
And can you talk about your days in the Nexus and that match that you had with Mark Henry, where you tried to pick him up, you couldn't, and then you went back and you picked him up and then walked away?
So the chips, I do get recognized. I've had kids literally, I've had people that only recognize me as the chip guy. Yes, with that. And they want pictures. It's crazy to me, but it happens. It's happened enough on that. I have no pride. I think it's great. I love it. What was the Nexus question?
Like, how was that group? Like, did you guys all really enjoy each other, and did you enjoy being part of that group?
Oh yeah. Oh, that was all great times, man. That was very innocent, fun times before all my problems with WWE started. So that was all positive experiences on that, and all the guys to this day will forever all be friends, as far as we all came up together and all went through that together. And I have nothing but great memories of Nexus all together with that. And then the Mark stuff, that was all, everything was planned. That was I did pick him up. I picked him up, and then we had to walk over to the ropes, and then he grabbed onto the ropes, and then I had to fall on my face with him for him to get the pinfall. And then I came back, and I think spine busted him and shell shocked him after the match. That was all exactly as it was laid out. So
I have one more question. How was that episode of Raw when John Cena just roasted all of the Nexus? And did you guys have a laugh backstage after that happened?
Oh, I don't even remember.
Oh, well, thank you for having me on your show.
You're welcome, buddy. You have a good one. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to think of the Cena roasting us next. I don't know off the top of my head. I would have to go back. And if I saw it, I'd probably remember with that. But I don't remember any. I think everybody probably just went about our business as usual with that. So. All right, guys. With that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up today's show. I thank each and every one of you for tuning in, as always. If you could please share this on Twitter Spaces, X Spaces, and tag Elon and Linda. Tell them to fix my account. Let's just stay on them, please. And it will, because maybe they can't see me, but they can hopefully see you guys. I don't know with this. And we'll keep trying to fight the fight until the truth wins, because it will win eventually with all of this. Check out my Feed Me More Nutrition, FeedMeMore.com, guys. Save 20% discount code FEEDME20, FEEDME20, and get a free shaker bottle with your orders on there, guys, as well. And until next time, my friends, stay hungry. Feed me more.
Hey, Rybackers, don't forget to hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and shell shock those notifications for the best supplements on the planet with Feed Me More Nutrition and all the latest cool new Ryback merch. Visit FeedMeMore.com.